Rohan, did you get what you wanted out of that?
Yeah, I think so. It was a good battle, and obviously we had to earn our way back into the game after, probably a bizarre most of the first half. There's a lot of young kids got a good experience there against, largely an experienced Wakefield team for a good portion of that game anyway. It wasn't without blemish, that's for sure. But I was happy with the way people stuck together and kept playing, and thought we looked fit and sharp in the main.
What was the change in the second half? Was it a mindset thing or?
Yeah, we strung a few sets together and played pretty direct there, and we got a top end dummy half there that exposed some opportunities there on the back of some quality go forward. So we had a decent little patch there. The first half just lacked any rhythm at all. There was penalties, turnovers for play the balls. It had no end-to-end footy. So as soon as there was a little bit of that, I thought we looked all right.
What did you make of the new players on the show?
Oh, mixed bag. Lockie over-tried, and he was that desperate to show what he's got and impress and show everyone what he's about. He tried a bit too hard, but I liked how he went out after half-time and played that little patch. He did well to get back on the tracks, do well. Gudemond was excellent, I thought. He played nearly the whole game. We lost a few with injury, so he had to play more than expected, but he showed his traits. Frawley played well, good solid game. Controlled the game when we took care of possession. He was in good control. And I thought Ackers was, a constant threat from dummy half, and showed some of what he can do. He's just getting started, but I think he's a great addition to our group and a very underrated player in the country. I think he's an excellent player.
You just mentioned injuries then. Have you picked up any knocks during the game?
Sam Lasoni had a tight calf, and Gano's failed a HIA, so they're the only two things that we've got to deal with here.
Is there any concern with Gano? Obviously, had a few concussions.
It's been a good while since his last one, and he's in good spirits and in pretty good shape in the dressing room. So yeah, each one will be just treated case by case, and we'll go through the process there.
And please, last one from me, please, with the way the youngsters went, I mean, some of them made a real impression, didn't they? And obviously, Jackson Field had a big second half, some nice touches from Nichols and Watson.
Yeah, we were an extremely young team there at the back end. Very, very young. We had Durrell and Macca and Sunger doing little bits and pieces there, but I think, and Gudemond, I think. But aside from that, they were 21 and under, which is good. It's good signs. And I thought most of the young kids got out there and just showed what they could do. They were quite conservative with how they played, but that's the way that they needed to get started. Just good, solid game, and they can build off that and let their bodies grow. And this time next year, they could be in a different position, some of those kids.
Hi, Rohan. Last year, I think we spoke quite a bit about how the RFL chose to referee speed in 6 against.
Or didn't.
Multiple statements since the end of the season about how it's going to be different. What did you make?
Yeah, I went and watched Bradford and Halifax the other day as well, and I thought on a small pitch in the mud and the rain coming in sideways, the game actually flowed better than the conditions and the time of year and the surface would have you anticipate. And then today I thought there was patches where may have slipped into old habit, but overall I thought the play the ball turnovers were correct. The flops were correct. I think it's what they've asked the referees to do is just referee. It's not actually new rules and I thought that aspect of the officiating was done well. It'll take some getting used to, and that'll probably cause some games to be a little stop-start. I thought there was some actual penalties blown for things that probably shouldn't have been, but the actual ruck sort of stuff was, I thought the game flowed, and you can usually tell in the crowd. The crowd aren't agitated by how long the wrestle's going on for, or the niggle, and they'll play the ball, and it wasn't a mess. And you can usually tell by the amount of times the referees don't have to go like that to say play on. It was quite well controlled, I thought.
Is the plan to sort of have a relatively full-strength team against Hull KR and James Donaldson's friendly? Is that how you're going to build up into the season?
Yeah, we'll have a mixed team against Bradford. There'll be a lot of young players playing that one. But yeah, against Hull KR, that'll be the round one plus a few more sort of squad. There'll be some competition, I'd imagine, on that day for 4 spots in round one. But yeah, we'll be full strength in that game.
A lot of Leeds fans will be hoping that they get a late Christmas present of Harry Newman signing a new deal. Has there been any movement in that area?
Oh, there's discussions ongoing there, but there's nothing to update.
And I presume Lee Kershaw's still definitely not signed for Leeds Rhinos, has he?
Lee Kershaw has not signed, no.
Will he continue to train with you into the new year, though?
I haven't had that conversation with Lee. He's trained with us up until Christmas, and if it's in his best interest and we've got a spot there for him to jump in on our reserves team at times, it's helpful for us. And as I said before, I think what goes around comes around sometimes. People need a bit of a helping hand. He's a good kid. He's not from too far away from here, and I think he's a good enough player to be contributing in a Super League squad somewhere. We just don't have the spot for him.
Cheers, Rohan, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Rohan, can I just, following up on something Kev said, do you have pretty much an idea of your squad for the first game, your best 17 yet, or are there still people playing for places people could push their way forward?
Well, I don't think round one's one thing. Everyone wants to be ready for round one, but over the course of the season, you need a squad. So there'll be some good players miss out in round one, but they might play in round two. So in our forwards, there's going to be some real competition there. In the backs, we're young. In our backup players, we're very young and inexperienced in our backup players in the backs, which will provide opportunity for young kids as we go. But it's a little bit of a different dynamic to last year there. But our first choice sort of backline is pretty much there already.
You mentioned less experience in depth. Could kids, we saw some very young kids, as you mentioned, get a go today. Could they realistically have some Super League football?
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah, there's a chance that they will, and some of those kids are progressing at a good rate of knots. And I think the thing to understand when they're all out there playing today, at times against a very experienced team, I know they were without some of their key players and whatnot, so I'm not reading anything into the result, but they had some experienced players out there. We had heaps of young kids on at the same time. When you're only putting 1 or 2 on in an experienced team, often a talented young kid can fit in quite easily. So that'll be the plan. If we can be fit and healthy, then when the kids need an opportunity, they'll get one in a good team. I just wouldn't mind saying to people out there watching that my thoughts are with everyone that sort of coached Troy Dargin, and a lot of his teammates and stuff are probably suffering a little bit at the moment. He's one of the best young blokes I've ever come across in rugby league, so thoughts are anyone out there back home thinking of you.
Is he somebody you've coached?
Yeah, I had a couple of years with Troy. He was a Broncos contracted player. He was allocated to play at Norths when I was coaching there. He's a tremendous young bloke and well liked in every club, as you can see from the tributes that have gone out to him.